So we went from printing all of our own merch, shipping it out ourselves, to diving more into print on demand. Been able to help students cross over 6, 7 figures with
Yeah.
recent results too. Like I have a student who just crossed over $80,000 last month.
Hey there, welcome back to the Built Online podcast, where we talk about all things online business, from e-commerce to digital marketing to building your dream life and your dream business. I'm your host, Cody McGuffie, and if you've been with us for a while, you might remember us as the Etsy Seller Podcast. Well, we're expanding our horizons and transitioning from just talking about Etsy businesses to covering all types of online businesses, because we believe the opportunity is so massive that we should be covering so many unique businesses online. And at EverBee, we believe that everyone deserves the opportunity to pursue their passions, live life on their own terms. And we believe in making e-commerce accessible to everyone in the world, no matter where they are, and be using it to make a positive impact in our families and in our communities. We believe that anyone who truly commits to something, truly pursues it with undeniable force of will, that they will succeed. Let's jump into today's show. Rich, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Bro, I'm great. I know we were chopping it up a little bit, before we hit record, but again, man, great to see you. Appreciate you coming on again.
You too, man. It's good to see you.
So it's the second time, third time you've been on the podcast?
I think this is the second time, but then we probably did a video on my channel as well.
Cool. Yeah, we as you know, we were originally the Etsy Seller Podcast, only
Hmm.
talking about Etsy. We branched out to Built Online Podcast, um, which is cool because we get to touch on Etsy also. We don't have to stop doing that, but also we can talk about like growing YouTube channels and like growing audiences and then growing email lists and building Shopify stores or Amazon stores or whatever it is. We don't have to be limited so much to only Etsy. And I think that's kind of what it's all about anyway. Like e-commerce
Hmm.
entrepreneurship is kind of chaotic and messy. It's not always one lane. But yeah, man. So super excited to dive into some stuff today with you.
Yeah, I love that because really I didn't even get into Etsy. Like it wasn't my first choice. So I'm being built online. A lot of people probably come on here for initially Etsy, but find out they have so many different skills and they could head into something else. Like I started off online from selling graphic designs into reselling, figuring out more about e-commerce, and then figuring out I can use graphic design skills to like actually, create print on demand products and whatnot. So I love being built online because it doesn't just start at Etsy.
Yeah, it doesn't only start there, and also like sometimes people are starting on Etsy and then they want to like go into like Amazon. Like I know you're talking about Amazon lately, which is super exciting, and but like at the end of the day, I mean, and also like the YouTube channel is just super impressive. So kind of give anybody like a little quick background on Rich. Uh, we've been friends for I don't know, maybe a year now, maybe 2 years now coming up. Virtual friends, I would say. We need to meet in person soon. But Rich has basically been self-employed his entire life. He's kind of like been entrepreneurship pretty much since the beginning, and he has a YouTube channel called Hustle Ninjas. If you never heard of Rich, that has well over 260,000 subscribers. By the way, dude, that's amazing.
Thank
Uh,
you.
he published over 200 or 320 videos, all value based, which is nuts. Like all towards like value to everybody, which I respect so much. Over 15 million views. You've been doing this since 2011. I don't even know if you know this, but like March 2011.
I created an account in 2011. I started in 2019.
Wild, crazy, man. You coach. Rich coaches people on all kinds of stuff, content, but also like just through free content, but also has like coaching programs, and he like helps entrepreneurs basically build a cool life that he thinks is cool, and that people that follow him thinks is cool too. And yeah, dude, I'm excited to just continue to dive in with you. By the way, Rich has we had an initial podcast. We'll find the episode number to kind of go back into Rich's story a little bit more. He's a
Mhm.
father of two kids. They're back in school, and let's do it, man. Let's help some people. Let's have some fun. I'm curious about a lot of stuff too.
I love that. I love that, man. You know more background about me than I know about me.
It's part of our job, right? We have a cool team, and it's not just me either.
Awesome.
So what's going on with you, man? What's your focus in the past? It's you already touched on it, selling apparel, selling t-shirts. You had a printer in the past you were literally doing it all yourself.
Hmm.
You do print on demand. What's your focus today?
So we went from printing all of our own merch, shipping it out ourselves, to diving more into print on demand. Been able to help students cross over 6, 7 figures with
Yeah.
recent results too. Like I have a student who just crossed over $80,000 last month, and to me, it's crazy. Diving into this side of the world, where like coaching and helping other students be able to do it, because like it's helped me even learn more. I forgot what the quote was, but it's something about you learn the most whenever you try to teach other people, because you got to educate yourself to like continually know what you're talking about as well. So man, it's crazy the amount of knowledge I've learned just from helping other people out. So love doing that recently. Just lots of Etsy print on demand. Excited about the Printify Amazon integration. Hopping back onto Amazon. Hopefully, get some results there and create some content around that as well.
I want to touch on that student too. So, for example, that student of 80,000, that's revenue. Is that on Etsy specifically?
Yeah, that's on Etsy specifically. To be more specific, it is personalized product, so it's not necessarily just like an EverBee T-shirt, or what do I have on, like a CH T-shirt.
Yeah.
It's something that has to be customized every single time. So the biggest thing that I was able to teach her was how to build a team within Etsy, how to hire designers, how to create sheets so that the personalized orders go to the right order, and how they can upload it so that it can get submitted, because those are like kind of some things that is touched on YouTube here and there, but that's kind of one of the things that, man, you're really not gonna learn until it's like it's time and you're hands on, and it's like, well, if I don't figure it out, someone's not gonna get their order.
100%. And are these all print on demand, or are they she actually printing them and personalizing them all in house?
All print on demand. So at first she was selling in Canada, and then the Canada market wasn't. It started to not do as well, and then it was something about the fact like Etsy wouldn't let her sell in the U.S. simultaneously. I don't know what it was. I'd have to go back.
Weird.
But so she just switched on to full over print on demand and just only sold in the U.S. and that was like a pretty huge growth.
Wow. And anything like what is I guess so many questions here. How many products does she have? Like, is it one product kind of crushing most of them? And you don't have to be exact, but mostly just general
Yeah,
range.
I mean, so she has several hundred products, but like typically still most of it's like the 10% that's getting majority of sales, and you got 2% that's like crushing it, like first page crushing it.
How long has she been on Etsy?
Since like 2020. So
And when
she
did
was
she
my
start working
student.
with you?
Yeah, she was my student a long time ago. Had ups and downs, and then like recently had to like implement new things, switch over markets, and it just started going crazy again.
You know what's crazy, man, is because the narrative out there is we were always going to hear this is Etsy's oversaturated.
Mhm.
There's no room for me, especially with print on demand. It's so like it made everybody have the ability to have shirts online. But here
Right.
you are, have this student who is figured it out to a certain degree, $80,000 a month in revenue. I mean, that's a huge milestone. That's a huge life changing number probably for her.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have multiple students too. I wouldn't say 80 grand, but doing like over 10 grand. I would say too, like to touch on the saturation thing. I think it's just really easy to kind of get caught up in thinking since everyone is doing it, then it's saturated. But like, how many people are doing it well, or how many people are doing it correctly to even be able to gauge it. There's lots of products out there where like, you know, they half-assed the listing, or design wasn't great. That's one big thing too I've noticed too, is people think like their designs look good, and that's kind of a
Yeah.
rough subject to bring to someone. And then like, so it kind of boils down to you either having an ego about it and like, well, I think my designs look good, or kind of dropping the ego and kind of trying new things to see different results.
Were you were a designer or initially? Like, is that kind of something, a skill set that you've always had?
So in 2003, I was 13 years old. I sold my first graphic design, which was like a nightclub advertisement. So that's like my first 50 bucks. So I've always been a graphic designer, but I won't say I'm like an original artist. Like I can't draw something like off the top of my head, like amazing, but I can copy. I can like, I can like looking at you, I could draw you, but I wouldn't be able to draw you without looking at you. So I'm not like a just
Yeah,
a
so you
full
have a
credit.
design eye, you're talented, but you're not yeah, okay, I understand what you're saying. W For someone actually, it's interesting because I was actually just having a conversation with a friend of mine who just got started on Etsy probably about a year ago, struggling. And when I look at her designs, I'm like, damn, they're just not. No one will buy that, you know.
Right, right,
But like for me, I'm not a designer either, so I don't really know that feedback to really give her. I just know that it doesn't look good,
right,
you know. Like I don't know what to say about it, and so I kind of wish that I had like this resource that instead I just tell her, you need to go to YouTube and probably like take a design course, or you need to go to like someone on Udemy and like go buy a design course.
right.
Do you have a resource? Like, do you have a course that you have, like a certain program that you pay X amount of dollars for to like teach you the fundamentals of design? Or like, I'm just curious if you have that. I could refer her to.
So our program more so teach like more so about like sales, but like graphic design wise, we like do once a week coaching, and then it's like we also do shop reviews. You can do one on ones and whatnot. So then we kind of critique like how your designs look, and then a lot of times like when people do product research on Etsy, it's like how close can you get to the original design in a sense, or without copying it. And then some people are trying to go too far into their own creative zone, and it just becomes entirely something new and different. So like if you really like suck as a designer, I would say like even outside of Etsy, like there's this book called Still Like an Artist. So it's pretty much copying the same exact design and then changing one element here, one element there, and then seeing like if that makes you a better designer. Because
Mm.
like once you like copy something, you really understand the process of like how that was drawn. So next time you try to draw something else, then you like remember something as a process of like drawing that first piece that you copied. Like that's pretty much how I learned how to use Photoshop or Illustrator. Like, you go on YouTube and you copy the whole tutorial and like from A to Z. Like so if you want to learn how to create, I don't know, like a text-based design or something, you have to go in there and do the same thing they did in that same exact tutorial from A to Z. And then the next time you want to do it for your own type of text, then you'll remember the whole process, but you're
Mm.
using it for a different, end product.
Yeah, the ability to almost like learn a new skill. That's what you're doing here, right? It's like when we were learning how to walk as kids, right? We see our mom and our dad walking. We don't like we just copy them. You
Right.
know, we just copy our brother, our little brother, our big brother, big sister, and we just copy them. And then learning how to talk, we kind of just copy them, and then you can kind of figure out which words you want to say. And yeah, it's interesting. Okay, so basically, have them go to YouTube, go type in a design tutorial, and just literally just copy, just do exactly what that tutorial says.
Yeah, I mean that's how I've learned everything. So I think it's just kind of touchy subject in the design world because it's like, oh yeah, you're stealing someone else's piece of art or something instead of like learning. So I think in the design world it's kind of, but like even if like, so I have my bachelor's in graphic design, they tell you to do the same thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and we're not saying go copy someone's products and slap it on your product. I mean, we're talking about learning a skill here. You know,
Right.
and then you can mess with the elements and you can make it your own. That's when you can start to innovate.
Yeah. And then taking that into like the e-com world, like same thing. If like you want to learn how to sell and like you don't have the funds or the resources to pay someone to do it, especially like when it comes to online marketing or for example, if like say running email campaigns. I didn't know how to run email campaigns. So
No,
what I did was I just went to go sign up. Let's say if I was running, a brand online, I went to go find the same, let's say if it's like a pet blanket, niche or something store I'm trying to create. I go find the same brand that's obviously doing really well running ads. I go sign up for their email campaign and I just let it flood for a little while and see what they're doing, you
dude,
know?
exactly the same thing. Like if I want to see how a specific company is like their email marketing, I literally just go sign up for their product. I buy their product actually. I'll
Yeah.
go buy their product and I'm like, I watch everything they do, and then I don't have to pull everything from it, but I get to learn
Yeah.
exactly what they're doing. And I imagine lots of people are doing that to me too, and probably to you too, as they should be. It's part of the game.
Yeah, it is. Especially like, even getting started on Etsy, you see a nice shop that you want to start selling, purchase from them. That's the fastest way you can learn. And then you'll see like, oh, they sent me like there's a lot of little things you probably didn't even know. Like if you just try to do what they're doing. Like for example, if you purchase from someone and a day later they send you like an automated message for like a review or something, and then you're like,
Mm,
oh, I never even thought about it. There's so many little things along the way.
completely agree. People are afraid to spend money sometimes. I learned, when they're first starting out, they're afraid to
Yeah,
spend that. Like sometimes it's $3 to purchase somebody's product. But I'm like, dude, yeah, but that $3 is gonna make you the knowledge you're gonna compound over time is gonna make you 3,000, 30,000, $300,000 if you just apply it later on.
yeah, that is kind of tough though. I mean, starting off, especially if like I would say if you took like a lot of losses back to back, you kind of get pushed against the wall and not want to try again. So that is kind of tough. Like I remember in the beginning buying this and buying that, not knowing if it's gonna work, but it takes a lot of belief.
It does. Yeah, I agree with you. It's actually a good point though. We forget about that. I do too. Of You're not really fighting only the money thing. You're fighting the belief thing of just like I think that I'm a failure because I've failed 5 times in a row already now. So you start to identify with like, why would this work? Why is this going to be any different than the last 4 times?
Hmm.
And the financial thing, you're starting a business probably because most of the time people start a business because they don't have a lot of
Right.
money and they want to create a life, and so spending that first 100, 200, $500,000 in a hole is sometimes it's scary. I understand that completely.
Yeah, sometimes you can kind of put yourself in a hole and like kind of lose your way. We talk about that too. Uh, Like so in our program and how we relate this to like Etsy. Like say for example, if someone's starting off and if they don't know how to make a proper listing template, they don't know how to do proper product research, to pricing, to creating good designs. And then sometimes someone might get a sale or two and everything wasn't set up properly. So they start scaling out that listing multiple times over. And in a sense you could be like creating 100, 200 listings and get burnt out, and like you're kind of running in the wrong direction so fast, like you're at a point like where you're kind of lost and confused and kind of just start blaming everyone else except for yourself, because like you feel like you put in the work but you
Mm,
kind of did it the wrong way too fast, and now you're just burnt out, you
mm.
know like you're lost at the point like where you don't even know how to find your way back again.
Yeah, it's interesting. So do you think that, I don't know if you've ever heard this terminology, it's fairly new to me, like sequencing, like you should do things in sequence. Like you shouldn't scale all your listings necessarily all in one go. Like first you should probably master like the first 10 listings, make sure you get feedback, iterate on those, get your first sale, and then after you get that, then you could move on to the next part of the sequence, which is like more listings, email funnel. The next thing is like, okay, next now it's time to build your own website, whether it's Shopify or something like this, and then stuff like that. Is that something that you guys kind of cover as you in the program with the students?
Yeah, in a sense, but I'm probably gonna steal that word from you. I like that sequencing.
I know
So
I stole it from somebody else, so
no,
it's okay. I actually have a question now for you. For your student, let's say, because this is an interesting thing. Your student just did 80,000, around 80,000 revenue. My mind, if I'm putting myself in her shoes, my mind is beautiful. I'm proud of myself, proud of thankful for Rich, thankful for everybody. Cool. My job is like, how do I bulletproof? How do I start to bulletproof my business now? That's my thing. Is like, how do I create this automation to where now I'm creating like this on the automatic somehow?
Mhm.
And for me, typically that comes with I just made a solid payday on Etsy. That
Right.
might not be there next month or the month after just because algorithm changes.
Oh yeah,
So
for
I
sure.
need to start thinking about building a kind of a sustainable business here. But that's my opinion. What are you coaching? How are you telling her now?
Yeah, so I'm kind of nurturing into different platforms. So I can already see like the drop off, but I still want her to like tend to those listings, see how Christmas comes around. Cause like the month before that she's at 50, now she's at 80, and then I checked on her like a few days ago, it's like around 40 or so. So obviously probably not even gonna come close to like what 80 was. But now I'm teaching her like, all right, so she has options now. She knows how to master listening. She knows how to create a design. Um, like Etsy at the end of the day, like it's a marketplace, but I find there to be a cap for like a lot of sellers. Obviously, there's it's just gonna be impossible without like Etsy spending more on marketing for you to even get like more traffic. So, she has the option to go create her own storefront, run the listings that, are kind of more branded within a niche or so. uh, set up her website to look nice, create those listings, start learning more about running paid traffic to her own website, or she can take those personalized products on over to Amazon. We talked about TikTok a little bit. Um, I actually have two TikTok affiliate students, like, undercover, which is pretty cool. So TikTok's going crazy too, which is insane. So I talked to her about TikTok a little bit. So just kind of already giving her ideas on like what she thinks is going to be like her next steps, you know?
Cool. How does she how's she managing her finances? And maybe you guys don't go in that deep. But a lot of times people will I find this way too often that they make an $80,000 payday and they kind of like consider that all their money and they forget about their cost of goods sold and they like forget about like they just start to like use it. Whereas
Yeah. Honestly, we don't go that deep. To me, it's like it's almost feeling like I'm becoming a coach outside of just like me teaching you sales and like
okay,
teaching you beyond that. So I mean, maybe that's something we could add. But like sometimes my students are even better than me. I have this other student, John. He's on my YouTube channel. He's now done over. So when he first came into the game, like he knew nothing about Etsy, and he joined the program. But now he's done over $1 million in sales,
so
and I don't know how much he's done in profit, but I know he's taken. Now he has a lot of income, on paper, and he actually went to go get approved for a duplex. So now he has a rental property, just based off of like sales he got from there. So a lot of
dang,
times people would think it stops, like on Etsy, like kind of what you were saying, like, all right, so what's the next thing that I do? I didn't tell him to go do that, but that was like his thought.
that's the
So
dream.
yeah, so a lot of times, man, I don't have the answers to go beyond. Like right now, I'm just getting people to that first step and like letting people know that they can get it done.
Dude, I think it's really cool, man. Inspiring. It probably makes you feel really good too, because that you touched that guy's life, right? And I mean,
Oh
if
yeah, he said that to me a lot of times. Like, so we did an interview one time, and then at the end of the interview, I was just telling him about like how overwhelmed I was, like doing this YouTube, figuring out like my own business and stuff. He was like, "Well, man, just know if nothing ever works out for you, just know that you changed my life." Just like because like he literally came in and knew nothing.
that's crazy, man. Damn.
It's pretty crazy. So yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, when I really sit down and think about things, it gets really crazy. Like it's crazy to think about, but sometimes like it's hard to slow down. I know you probably live like pretty fast paced too. It's like as soon as you get off, like you just kind of forget about everything else you ever done.
this is kind of exactly. Yeah, we're always kind of like moving the goalpost, right? We're just moving it a little bit further every time, and
Yeah.
that's positive in some ways, and then also really negative in certain ways too. And that's another conversation there. But it seems like to me that, and I don't know your personal life too much, but and I'm sure I will over time. But you seem to be to me like you value your family though. Like you take care, like you somehow figure out a way to integrate your family with your business in a way that's sustainable. It seems to me.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I try, but like I wouldn't be able to do it without my oldest son. Like I really got into business to like obviously I've always been self-employed. I had a job when I was 16 just because like that's a cool thing to do, and then I had a job when I was like 20 years old, which was what's that, like 15 years ago. I got a job for like 2 months because at that time I was still doing a lot of graphic design, a lot of video work, and my friend was like a manager, and he was like, "You can still do your work here." I was like, "Oh, well, that's cool," because it was like a night shift. So I did it for a few months. I was like, "Man, I'm tired of this." So I had those two jobs, but I've always had that self-employed mentality or going into like entrepreneurship. I was able to figure it out like here and there, but my oldest son, he has autism, and so uh over the years, like I've realized like his disabilities is to the point where like when he gets older, he's not gonna be able to go get like a nice job or be able to make money, you know, at the level like we have the ability to be able to do so. Like we're blessed to be able to like even wake up and talk and understand, most of the world, right? So, that gave me a purpose to be like, now I know like the meaning of like why people say they need like generational wealth. So in a sense, I really needed to make enough money to like last beyond my lifespan. So at that point, that's when it like really made sense for me. A lot of people just kind of chasing money, but don't really know why it needs to like go beyond.
100%. Like we appreciate you sharing that, first of all, man. And I know we've talked about that a little bit in the past, and it's probably inspiring for so many people listening to this, including myself. because that's like the real shit, you know, like that's like the real stuff of uh it seems like we're all just like chasing like financial freedom, and we are, right? It's part of it. But mostly it's usually something behind that too, and that's usually freedom for to retire my mom, right? Who's been working her ass off for my entire life, right? And my in-laws, my mother-in-law who has cancer, right? Like these
Right.
things, they're like real things. And I'm like, dude, I think I've been blessed, and I'm saying me and you and people listening to this with this opportunity.
Hmm.
And if we waste it, we're actually it's way more at stake. It's not just my life and my family. It's actually like my extended family too. They're actually kind of relying on me in
Yeah.
all of this, and it's wild to think about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And then when you get a first taste of it too, like that first crack of like, let's say if like you're starting off and like you just saw extra $10,000 a month in profit, and like you just get the taste of like, damn, I could be you know the one. Like I have the opportunity. Like I could recreate this. I could make it happen. Like you really get that taste of it that first time, and like it just becomes addicting.
Do you believe that? You said the word "I'm the one," right? And you something to me. Do you believe that like usually there's one person in the family that kind of changes the whole trajectory of the family? I've heard that before.
Yeah, I've heard of that before too, but I wasn't really saying it like that. I was just kind of more so saying like I could do it, but
Mm.
I don't know. Like I've met like families where like there's brothers and like they all have the same mentality and they go out there and crush it, or
Too.
siblings.
Those
Yeah,
two. Yeah.
yeah, but and I don't know. In my case, it's just like
Are you the one in your family like that's kind of like the business guy, the more successful person in the family? Not just your immediate family, but just general. Or do you have
yeah, I'm probably the only one who just like kind of went off track and was like going into this entrepreneur world.
cool. Yeah, I could see that too. I think it usually takes my limited experience of this is I think it takes probably one person that somehow is just like focused on this. And then what happens is it starts to like seed other family members. And
Mhm.
pretty soon they build up a whole bunch of like good people, good humans, but also successful business owners too. I'm kind of seeing a little bit with my family. Like my little brother, he's now in entrepreneurship and he's
Yeah.
successful. My little sister too, my nephew too. And I'm like, oh, cool. This is purely just from conversation. It's cool, man.
So
I could
you're
see.
the oldest.
I'm actually it's kind of complex, but I'm one of six, and I'm like
Okay,
I'm middle in the six, but we're all really tight. It's pretty cool.
that's pretty cool.
How old's your son? Your oldest son?
He's 11.
11.
Yeah. And then my youngest is 7.
Crazy.
But he really sees like more of I can tell he's already kind of more interested into like the entrepreneur world because he saw a lot of things just like possible in a sense, like compared to me. Like say,
Your
um,
7-year-old?
yeah, like
Cool.
he had the idea of like understanding money like at a real early age. Like probably when he was 3, he already like understood like what a dollar could do, you
Hmm.
know. And then like I say, like I take him around a lot more, around like my friends who like are more wealthy, or like he grows, like say for myself growing up, like as a kid you're like, oh, I wish I could get a Lamborghini or like one day type of ordeal, but like he grows up knowing that it's even possible for him already.
Like his dad knows he has friends that has Lamborghinis, or like
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
you had an R8 if I recall.
Yeah, yeah, so he already knows it's like it's possible, so that's a whole different level when it comes to him getting older. He already knows like lots of things are possible for him.
It's really cool, man. It's really inspiring. I'm curious too if you want to share about your YouTube journey a little bit more. Not many people can say they've gotten over 100,000 subs, 200,000 subs. You're approaching 300,000 subs. I've asked you this before. I think when we first met years ago, and you're just like, dude, honestly, I don't really know how it happened. If I recall, I don't really know how it happened. I just like kind of kept showing up. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of how you answered that, if I remember. But there's more to that. There has to be more to that.
Are you talking
Like
about just like growing the channel?
growing your channel. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say when I first started off, I was doing like a lot of Amazon on the side, and that was kind of like more fun thing to do. Like I was selling T-shirts, I was doing Etsy, but then on the side, I got into this whole reselling thing, and I didn't know making content on YouTube was like based off your niche. I didn't have like the whole Etsy T-shirt algorithm in my YouTube, so I didn't know that was a thing. Um, I was I was reselling stuff, and then like it will pop up in my YouTube feed. I guess because I probably searched up like, oh, has anyone purchased this pair of shoes or something? And eventually, my algorithm was showing like people who are reselling. So I'm like, oh, people make content on this. So
Mm,
I started making content on it because that was my fun thing to do on the side. And then YouTube was fun for me because it was something on the side, and I was just posting videos. So I did that for a whole year. I probably posted a video once a week. Started talking about more Amazon, and then eventually I talked about myself, and then I talked about making T-shirts, and then I'm like, man, people are watching this stuff. And then all of a sudden now my algorithm is like starting to go more into T-shirts and is going into Etsy and stuff. I'm like, man, there's more people on it. I just didn't know like how many people were like making content. Like I still go on YouTube now. There's like thousands of new
God.
creators, so it's crazy.
But it's crazy you could still win. Like there's abundance of people watching and consuming and getting value. Like you don't have to. It's not one winner. It's millions of winners.
I know it's crazy. So I was very fortunate though because I did that in 2019. So I kind of had already, conditioned myself to, all right, I'm gonna do this consistently. And then when COVID came, everyone saw the COVID boom anywhere online. And then so saw the boom with the e-commerce, and then even like on YouTube, like views were going up. I'm like, man, what is going on? So I'm doing the e-commerce. I'm just vlogging myself doing e-commerce. I'm posting on YouTube, and then like that consistency like really helped the content to grow. But on top of that, though, I would say because like when I was younger, when I was doing graphic design, I also did I did wedding videography. I did music videos. I was really already big into videos, so I had an idea of like content create. I wouldn't say content creation because it's still a whole nother game I don't completely understand, but I have more of an idea of like being
Yeah.
able to create more well edited videos. So I went to go interview my friend Charles. He did like during COVID, he did 600 some $1,000 in like 12 days. So I went to go make an interview on him, and then that video took off. I'm like, man, people love these videos. So, ever since then, I just stuck to YouTube because it was fun. But I'm at the point where it's like, uh, even like where I'm at now, and I shouldn't even complain, but it's like, it's always going to be a point where like, man, it doesn't feel like I'm growing, or, it feels like kind of plateaued. So, I'm at that point now, but I just say that to say like, no matter like where you see someone's at, like there's always something.
There's always something.
Yeah, there's always something, and at the same time, it's like they could look at me and be like, "Man, he's doing great," but at the same time, it's finding balance in entrepreneurship. Is like being proud of like what you've done, and then still wanting more. So I
Yeah.
think that's probably the biggest thing is finding balance.
I agree with that. I love that. The way that I think about it too, I think I got it from somebody else. I pulled from it, but it's blissful dissatisfaction. You ever heard that before?
No, blissful what?
Dissatisfaction.
Blissful dissatisfaction.
Yeah, basically it's like I have bliss. Like I'm totally fulfilled and totally happy. Like I'm at peace, with everything in my life currently, everything that I've built, everything that I have coming and currently with me. But I'm also at the same time I can be dissatisfied too. Like I can be dissatisfied with I want more.
Nah,
And that's okay to have both. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Just because I want more doesn't mean I'm unhappy and ungrateful. I can be grateful and also want more. And I think I kind of adopted this belief, I don't know, probably 6 years ago, I guess. And I still try to practice it. It's still challenging, but it's something that it matters to me a lot, because I want my kids
yeah,
to believe this too.
yeah, I love that, man. I love that you're teaching me, man. Sequencing now, blissful dissatisfaction.
You're teaching me YouTube, and I want maybe to. Do you think there's an opportunity for our folks listening to this who are aspiring entrepreneurs? Maybe they're probably already Etsy sellers. They're probably store owners, online store owners to some degree. They want to grow their business. They want to be super successful too. Do you think there's a play for them with content creation on YouTube, something like this? Is there a way to kind of make it all work and leverage YouTube in order for their brand to grow?
Absolutely. I think more so is kind of more niche based. Like I've considered this in the past. Like I've seen other channels. For example, like I could go on YouTube, be like an autism dad. I'm in a particular niche. I could
Mhm.
be selling merch for, a good cause. Certain percentages goes to certain profits, and you're creating a niche. You're creating a community right within, you know, what people want to hear and need help with. Even like we could be making this whole entire podcast could become something about being dads who are entrepreneurs, And then
And we could
I've
have
seen,
T-shirts literally says like datapreneur or something like this, right?
yeah, I've seen some people within that lane. I think it's really just more so understand. You still have to study a lot, man. It's just like it's more to it than just creating content. Like you really have to. You know, one big mistake that I used to think was like me having 200 whatever thousand subscribers was my community, but it's like how do I talk to them, right? So like you got to have a spot for them to hang out with. Like you got to have Facebook group or Discord or like even doing webinars where you're able to talk to them. So it's still layers to it. So don't think just because you're making content, you're going to be making money as well. Just have a way to still be able to nurture them, be able to, you know, care for them before you even ask for a dollar or whatever. It goes back to that Gary Vee thing. What is it like? Punch, give or something.
Yeah, something like that. I remember reading.
Yeah, I don't know. I've
Yeah.
heard about it a few times.
Basically,
No,
it's like value, give value, give value, give value, give value, give value, and then maybe ask for like, or maybe
yeah,
try to sell something, right?
yeah,
Exchange,
yeah,
and then give, and then sell something.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not the other way around.
I don't know the proper thing, but pretty much just over delivering to the point where it's once a transaction is made, it doesn't feel like they're just giving you money. It just feel like it's kind of old, because like you're pretty much doing this in a sense selflessly, not really expecting a return.
Yep, I love that. It's playing the long game too.
Hmm.
Okay, so a couple things I'm pulled from you here. You 250,000 subs did not come easy. No one should expect this, but there is a play probably for every niche, probably most niches. If you get creative, there's as long as your person, your niche is a real person and they can get some sort of value through video,
Hmm.
or education, maybe like autistic dads or dad business owners, mom business owners, stay-at-home mom business owners, right? Like whatever it is, you can make a bunch of content and just solve their problems through a series of videos, doing that consistently and then studying, obviously, and then iterating and making it better and better over time. Do that for what you've been doing it for 5 years
Yeah, about 5 years.
consistently, and you can do it. Then if you have a community, you mentioned community too,
Hmm.
a place for people, those people to hang out. So you add them to an email list. You add them obviously to a Facebook group or Discord or something like that, where those you can nurture and help those people also and talk to them.
Hmm.
And then you have something to monetize this whole thing to make it all work financially for you, which is that could be your product, right? That's your shirts, that's your hats, that's your swag, that's your bags, that's your whatever it is. It's your course, it's your digital something. Is that summarize that pretty good?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, the first full year, I've made absolutely nothing from it, And then, just to add on to like, if you want to go the long game too, it boils back to like what we said earlier. Like, if you want to create content too, and if you're posting once a week and you're not seeing results, like your content probably sucks. Same way, like design wise, comes from creating a good t-shirt design. No one's purchasing it. Your design probably sucks. Your content probably sucks, and it's kind of a hard truth to swallow. Like I even have to like sit here and look at my content. Like, okay, it's great to some people, it's bad to me. Have to fix something. So if you continue to make bad content constantly, then you're gonna dig yourself in the hole again. Feel bad about yourself instead of fixing it.
I have some personal questions, and maybe our audience could like benefit from it too. EverBee, right? EverBee
Mhm.
has a YouTube channel. We got like 20, I don't know, 25,000 subs or something like that, 24,000. Um, it's never been a primary like focus for us. And then I also see this value of personal brand.
Mhm.
Which would you consider you have a personal brand? I mean, Hustle Ninja is the brand, but like you're the face of that brand, so it seems like personal to me.
Yeah, it seems more of a personal brand to me. The only way I would have been able to kind of transition it if I was to have more people on the team and like have them to create videos themselves. But at this point, I've been able to leverage it more as a personal brand because I've been able to connect and work with other companies just like, off of me. So it's kind of something you do want to think about as well. If you're trying to create a channel that's based off of a network, you're going to want to have multiple faces. So, when a company or a brand wants to work with you, they just want to work with your channel and your channel's name instead of like, no, we want that guy,
I see.
So that's pretty probably going to be the biggest difference.
Interesting. So then, like, let's say Cody wants to. let's say I want to build a channel called Cody McGuffie channel, right?
Mhm.
Should I just piggyback on top of EverBee and just like show up on EverBee, and like Leslie's making, she's crushing it with YouTube on EverBee's YouTube, but also like should I just like go in there and add fuel to that, or is it better to keep it separate?
All right, so you want to do your own thing? Is that
Let's
what
just
you
say,
said?
let's just say, for example, like let's say I want to start producing content, right? I got like a million ideas. I think that it should be shared from my perspective.
Hmm.
Should I share that on a separate channel completely, or should I have it on top of EverBee's channel?
It's like an entirely different niche and conversation.
Same conversation, same niche.
I mean, you could probably post on the same channel because then it'll be more so of a like think more so like the complex channel. They have a series where it's like sneaker shopping, and then it's one host, and then they have like hot ones. We're doing that hot sauce thing. That's a whole different host. But in the whole, it's like, all right. So Everbee has multiple different series. They have one with Cody. So I think on the same channel is fine if it's like
Oh,
still.
I didn't know if that was like a no, right? It's like, no way, don't do that. That'd be silly. But it sounds like it's, as long as it's serving the same type of customer demographic, then
Yeah,
it sounds like it works.
yeah, I think it works.
Okay, interesting. What
I'm
is your
not.
goal? No, I think it's funny your perspective. Where can people follow you? And by the way, I have a series of rapid fire questions I want to hit with you, but where can people follow you? Just
So on Instagram is rich_KHUN, or you could always follow me on YouTube, which is Hustle Ninjas.
hell
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, cool. I asked the community, our Facebook group, speaking of that, and I said, interviewing a couple incredible business owners tomorrow morning. What questions do you want me to ask them? You were one of those people, and we got some questions here. You
Hmm.
ready for them?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. Fiora asks, how to grow your store from 10K per month to more? I feel like everyone talks about early stages of the process. Once you've made 10,000 per month, are
Hmm.
there any other strategies that you can use at that time?
Yeah, so it depends. Are they on their own or they already have people working with them? Uh, so one of the biggest things that I know helps a lot of people, which apparently I didn't know the word before, sequencing, was like, it's what's your process, right? So what is like the most number one driver that's making you sales that you know that you're doing? Is it creating more listings, creating more better designs, optimizing the listing? Take that one portion and then see if you have money now, so you can go pay someone. You can get someone off of Upwork or online jobs. Um, Teach them how to do it. A lot of times people are also scared to teach someone else how to do something. I don't know why. They feel like it's going to take away from them.
Interesting.
Um, so teach them how to do it, pay them to do it for you. And then that's going to be like your number one driving factor that's going to help you make more sales. And then the rest of the process, you can also either teach that person or get someone else, pay someone else to do that process so that you have more time. And now you have more time to look at the data whenever they're doing it for you and then seeing how you can, make them better. And then you can see if like you can duplicate the process over and you pretty much scaling from there. So pretty much it's delegating. I think that's going to be the hardest thing for a lot of entrepreneurs getting from, because $10,000 a month is very doable by yourself, and it's at the same time most entrepreneurs, majority of entrepreneurs have that self-employed mentality where it's like I have to do it all myself, but you're at the point where you have to teach someone else how to do it so you can free up your time.
I love that. Brittany asks, what's the best part about hiring employees and the worst?
The worst is if you're not paying them enough, they'll be ready to go. And then like if you train them all up and they know everything and then you gotta do it all over again. So that's kind of a bad thing. Excuse me. The best thing, obviously, you're gonna free up more time and you're gonna see even more possibilities than you did before. So you already had that window of like, man, I can make $10,000 a month. That's awesome. But now you're about to see this. If you don't have anyone yet, you're busy right now at $10,000 a month. It's cool, but like you're doing everything. But now you're about to see this whole new door open where it's like, man, now I'm making $10,000 a month and I'm doing 50% of the amount of the work. So that's like it just opens up something new for you. So definitely that's something that you definitely gotta look into.
I have another one here. Mandy, she says, What advice would you give to someone starting their first online business?
Their first online business, I would say, man, it's so unrelated to like skills and stuff. I would say, like ladies, go get your nails done. Guys gotta go get a haircut because it's like your confidence gotta be extremely high hopping into this game. Because like if your confidence isn't there and you go in there and you do something wrong, you're already gonna beat yourself up and say like, man, I probably don't got it in me. But if like you're overconfident at the point where it's like you're overconfident and not cocky at the same time and still willing to drop your ego to learn something new, then you're always going to be able to come in and be like, man, I'm about to get this done today because I know what I'm doing. A lot of times, like we kind of question what we're doing our first time online, and we're just kind of clicking things around. But if you're confident about like the whole process, and then you went through it, and then now you know, hey, I messed up. Let me look and see what I did, where I messed up at. So you really got to have a lot of confidence.
How
I
do you
keep
build that confidence? Is there a way to build that confidence in the case that maybe you don't have it?
Man, you gotta really take care of yourself. I think that comes to that the whole personal mentality. Like sometimes it goes to the point like, man, if you're eating fried chicken every day, you already probably your energy's probably already down. You got to be healthy. You got to at least like work out once a day or every other day at the least. If like that's something not in your routine, like start doing it once a week. Like start doing things that's gonna make yourself feel good. Um, like just taking care of yourself. Like I said, go get a haircut. Like you have to have like the proper hygiene. Like go take a shower or something. It's really building up your own self esteem so that you can have the confidence.
I love that, man. Confidence is such a big thing for all of us. And we all struggle with, or at least I'll speak for myself. I personally struggle with confidence all the time, right? And I think it's very, very normal based on all the non-successful and also very successful people that I know worth, hundreds of millions of dollars. They still struggle with this.
Hmm.
And the kind of the common answer to this when I ask them this seems to be that confidence is simply just it's built through keeping a series of promises to yourself over a period of time. Like what you said, I promise I'm going to work out today. And then
Hmm.
you go and actually work out today.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden you're like, I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I
Right.
promise I'm going to make my bed in the morning. You wake up, you make your bed. I promise I'm going to kiss my kid before sleep tonight. And it's like,
Love
boom. I'm a guy that does what he says he's going to do.
it.
And
Right.
then naturally your confidence just builds over time. For example, for me, it was like, I promise I'm going to help 100,000 people. And damn, sure enough, we did it. It took a couple of years, but like we did it. And now my confidence is like, I should set another goal. And it's so cool. And I think I'm trying to teach it in our kids, to this day, just like how to build.
Yeah. I love that. I love that, man. You're teaching me. Yeah, I feel like that's the third thing though, just to add on. So you taught me about sequencing. You taught me about what was it? Something dissatisfaction? Bliss
Blissful dissatisfaction,
and promises.
promises. Man, I have some other questions here, and we'll wrap it up. And these ones could be super fast. But what's your favorite business book?
Favorite business book? I can't read. So I can read, but I can't comprehend. I have that thing where I'll read a paragraph and I forgot what I read.
Okay.
So I have a few books laying around, but like I've like stumbled through them. Like I have that book, like I was talking about earlier, still like an artist.
How do you consume knowledge typically?
Man, how do I consume knowledge?
Yeah.
Um, I skim through stuff. I'm horrible. I'm a lazy entrepreneur. Like
I mean,
so,
crushing. So it
yeah.
works.
But if I get super interested into something, then yeah, I'm laser focused. So and then I'm watching a series of tutorials and whatnot. But like, if it comes to just kind of learning in general, it's hard for me. Like here's a sales book, right? They want me to read like this sales book. It's an awesome sales book. I can't consume the whole thing. Someone told me some section was awesome. I'll go see that one section,
Okay.
but I can't read the full book.
But you mentioned also, so it sounds like you learn by like watching, because you mentioned the tutorials earlier, right? So it sounds like you know how to, like you have certain ways that you just learn really well. It sounds like
Yeah,
it's
I learn most by doing. So if I'm watching a tutorial, then I'm doing it at the same time. Then I messed up somewhere in that tutorial. Then I got to go find another tutorial. So yeah, I learn most by like doing, but I'm horrible at reading. I do
what's
like
one.
this book that I have. It's like pretty old. It's a Denzel Washington book, and it's called A Hand to Guide Me. And I think I like that book because it's not like a Denzel Washington book. It's actually a series of other entrepreneurs or artists or athletes and kind of asking them a series of questions.
Hands
So
on.
that's something you can like pick up and like skim through because then you can jump on 42 and then this is Serena Williams. Let's see what she has to say.
I took note of that. Hand to guide me. What's one thing that you wish you knew before starting a business?
What's one thing I wish I knew before starting a business? Oh, that's kind of tough because I feel like I've kind of always been in this world. Um, Let me see. For myself, it's always been like a whole mental battle. I think beating yourself up is almost gonna, for myself, it's gonna be almost normal. But the only way to react to it is to go find the answer. So really, it's just always there's always an answer for something. That's probably what I would say.
Love that. What's the worst advice you've ever received? The worst advice, business advice you've ever received?
The worst business advice, probably when you have a good idea and you tell someone and then they say it's hard.
What do you mean by that?
Because then it's kind of perspective. It's like it's saying like it was hard for them, like you can't do it,
Hmm.
so, because they weren't able to do it. So
So someone would tell you that's going to be really hard to do. Like that
yeah,
advice right there is the worst.
yeah. In a sense, I wouldn't say necessary because like I guess it depends who you're around. It's more so like in the beginning you might be around the wrong group of people.
Mm,
Most definitely, because like right now I'm around entrepreneurs who do way more amazing than I am, and if they'll tell me something that's hard, then it's probably hard. But in the beginning, you're probably around a whole bunch of people like saying like, "Oh, I want to make my first $5,000, $10,000 on Etsy or something," and then right now you're probably on the internet. You're showing like a lot of people is telling you that it's possible, but then you go read a comment and someone's gonna say it's hard, it's not possible. You're gonna take that to heart in the very beginning, and then you
mm.
might go tell your one friend who has zero experience and be like it's hard. That's really like crushing your heart and your hopes and your
Yeah,
dreams.
I tried that. Yeah, I bought some course and I lost all my money, right?
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
take it too hard. Yeah. Okay. I agree with this. How many hours do you work on your business per week?
I would say like I'm still at like a solid. All right, so I get a lot of off days, but I would say like I'm solid like 40 hours, probably sometimes less, like 30 hours, because I'm very flexible around like my kid's schedule. My oldest son has like lots of therapy. My younger son has lots of activities. Um, I'll probably do 3 hours here, 3 hours that the rest of some other time during the day. It doesn't feel like a full 8 hours, and then
Yeah.
sometimes it's like me clicking here, clicking there. But and then I have lots of flexibility. Like I'll be gone for like the next like week and a half, and I can just bring my computer. So
What is okay? Here's a fun one. If your family and your friends and your customers all had a task to write an article about Rich, okay, they had to be honest, brutally honest, characterizing your traits and like who you are as a man. What do you think they would say?
ooh, that's a hard one. Um, if they all had something to say,
They all contributed collaboratively. They all collaborated on it.
maybe like he's hardworking or something, for sure. I mean, because that's what they would all see in common. I would suppose. Like,
With like five, it's yeah, like a few things. You could say a few things. Just hardworking. Okay.
yeah, I'm thinking so from the audience point of view. Like anyone who's watching this, they probably know that I work hard and like all of that. But I feel like almost outside of that, I almost feel like that's all they would think. I don't even know what else.
What about your family?
My family, like so, my wife would say like probably think like if I had to die today, like I tried my hardest to make shit happen. My family, like my cousins, are closest to me, and they're like so. I've helped them out countless times. Like my one of my cousins, Alan, like I've taught him Etsy and whatnot. I've taught him how to get into a t-shirt game. He's made a few thousand a month just like off of knowing nothing. Like I've literally taught him like graphic design. So um he would say like I'm selfless in a sense, and like I work hard, and I think probably like the most common denominator is just probably hardworking,
All that. Rich,
not one to complain.
thank you, man. Appreciate you so much. This is super fun. I know we went I think right on time, actually.
Awesome, awesome. I hated that last one, man. I hate talking about myself, man.
That's why I asked it, because I mean, I want to hear about it, and also like literally out of my own curiosity, but I think a lot of other people want to hear it too. So appreciate
Awesome.
you answering that, and I appreciate your time. This is super valuable. So
But,
thank you.
appreciate you for having me on again.
We'll have to do it again. Number 3 coming soon.
Yeah.
All right, bro. I'll see you soon.